When someone asks me who I am, I have a very good answer. I am 8 miracles. 8 great-grandparents that somehow made it out of the darkest chapter in what seemed like all of history so that I could exist. One of my great-grandfathers survived because he was just a few kilometers ahead of the German advance when it stalled and turned towards the Battle of Stalingrad. Family legend says he started smoking around then at 8 years old. Maybe because when you've just survived thanks to a miracle, you mark it however you can. One great-grandmother survived because she fled across Eastern Europe as a child, hiding in bomb craters with her family while German planes flew overhead. Her family starved along the way and her sister later became infertile likely from that hunger. At one point, her auntie nearly suffocated her own son during a shelling, convinced that his crying would attract the German planes. Thankfully, they all made it to Moscow. Another great-grandfather fought at the Battle of Kursk, one of the big turning points in the war, and lost his leg around that time to a sniper, doing his part to turn the tide of the war. Another great-grandmother of mine actually stayed in her village because no one believed they needed to evacuate. After all, the Germans during World War I were normal people, nicer even than their own sadistic and murderous Soviet overlords, which had recently killed millions of their own people. These smart, logical townspeople would rather fall into their hands. Then, a wealthy lady drove through the town in a miraculous car, in a country which probably had no more than a couple hundred. She collected all the children she could find, refusing to leave any of them behind. She put my great-grandma in her car and saved her life. Another couple actually evacuated with their whole orphanage, carrying dozens of children to safety while the world around them literally crashed and burned. The other couple miracles, my grandparents haven't told me yet, but I know they happened too. In every miracle, they lost people. Parents, siblings, friends. My little great-grandma in my car never saw her mother, father, or twin brothers again. My other great-grandma's grandpa died from heartbreak after losing everything that he'd ever built in his entire life. Everyone lost entire branches of family trees that would simply never grow again. Again and again, the roots from which I draw my life force today almost withered away. But just about 8 times, they didn't. And now I'm here because of 100 tiny decisions and 8 miracles stacked on top of each other. So whenever life feels unfair, I try to remember that. Not because life is easy, and not because suffering isn't real, but because the fact that I'm actually alive proves that anything can be overcome when you put your trust in just a handful of miracles.